I got sunburned. Hello and welcome to Cory's Corner. So I went on a 3-hour walk yesterday in the sun and basically lovely Colorado sun. And I didn't wear sunscreen and I wore shorts. So not only do I have a lovely rose complexion on my forehead and gigantic schnoz, but the back of my calves are fried. So if you see me grimace or make any weird faces, it's because that has made me uncomfortable.
That shit stings.
It does. It sucks big fat hairy nuts. And joining us today is Sean from Escaping the Matrix over on the Rumble side of things. How you doing today, sir?
Hey man, I'm okay. I'm having a bit of a slow wake up day, but how are you doing, man?
I'm good, other than, feeling slightly overcooked, but oh well.
I heard that.
Hey, we have our first chatter.
Boosh.
It's Boosh McFadden, a rosy monkey. Indeed. Just, it's only a little red. It's not super bad. Anyway, so I'm sure all of you have heard that Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk were planning a cage fight. And I know we were all super excited about that, but unfortunately, Musk's mommy says the fight has been canceled.
Mama's boy.
Yep, the billionaire mama's boy and the android from hell. I would I want this fight to be on there, and honestly, I know I'm punching above my weight. But let me call that fight, announce that. Be like, in this corner, in the blue corner, we have weighing in at 134 pounds of pure carbonite steel, something like that. I don't know. But that would be great.
Yeah,
I think
you
it'd be
you gotta give Musk the red corner, man. Satan's bitch.
Yeah, in the red corner, Satan's bitch. It's Elon Musk. Does he have the Musk for the challenge? Or will Zuckerberg Zucker punch his way to victory? Neither, because mommy says the fight's not happening. Oh my god. Hey, Boosh McFadden says maybe he loves his mother. What's little bitch? What? Little bitch who has sex with supermodels and can buy tech giants. What's little bitch about him? The fact that his mommy can step in and stop a fucking fight. Give me a break. Diablo name, hail. I'm a mom and I say match should go ahead. I agree.
Yeah.
Hail Ryan Roger Anthony. He says, hope all is well, and hopefully you will enjoy the show. All right. We definitely will. Boosh says, I just woke up. Well,
I hear that.
Good morning. Now, you guys just have no sense of humor when you're first waking up. Drink your coffee, bro. Gosh. What's not bitch about a billionaire being whipped by his mom saying he can't fight?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break. So I'm curious, though, given the fact that Mark Zuckerberg has jiu-jitsu training and Elon Musk, might have been to Joburg 1 or 2 times during his youth. I don't know. Who do you think would win the fight?
This is a tough one. We got Android versus, I don't know, Satan's right-hand man. I don't know. I mean, I think
so. You have absolutely no love for Musk, obviously.
I have no love for either of these two, man. But I I mean, if I had the money, I would absolutely pay money, top dollar, to see these two rip each other apart, celebrity deathmatch style, in a
That would
cage
be
fight.
so great.
Oh man, I know it's kind of like a distraction, and it's it's just food for the masses, but oh, a guilty pleasure. We talk about how we'd love to throw these politicians and rich
Dude,
mama's boys into a gladiator arena
yeah,
and
the
see
first
them.
time I heard about it, the thing I thought about was Celebrity Deathmatch from MTV back in the day. It was great.
Yeah, dude, and we talked about, how we could do the announcement for it, celebrity deathmatch style, do our own little recording over the top of it. Dude, it would be great. Personally, though, on a just a realistic plane, I think Zuckerberg might have it just because those cold dead eyes, the jujitsu training, little
Training
little bit unpredictable, and that kind of robot-esque thing, that android thing he's got going on about him. Yeah, I think he'd totally lay the smack down on Elon Musk. Why not?
So Bush McFadden says all Elon has to do is truck him. He needs to train for a week with an NFL fullback and wreck Zuck. He's skinny. He
Isn't
is skinny.
Zucker pretty tall as well? I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
but that
tall
just makes a
Elon
good
Musk is, but
that might just make a good target for a high-speed tackle, but depending on how far into his jiu-jitsu training he is,
yeah.
rush would be the worst thing Musk could pull off.
Yep.
That's of course assuming that Zuck has any skills.
Mm,
And Diablo Deem says we can finally find out if Zuck is a lizard person. Yeah, what
yep.
color would he bleed? Oh dear, is it going to be green and sticky? Is that why they called the fight? Is that why they called the fight? Because the truth would
Mm,
come out?
yeah,
Yeah,
right?
you bastards.
I mean, look
But
at Elon's mom. She's got a bit of a reptilian face going on there. Eesh.
she does. You're not wrong. May Musk. Okay, so we're not going to read this article. We're just going to look at her tweets about the subject. May Musk says, "Don't encourage this match," in response to Lex Fridman, who says a jiu-jitsu match between Zuck and Elon would definitely be a fun plot twist in this simulation. I'm all for it. A lot of people would be. I'd be down for watching these two beat the living shit out of each other. Bush McFadden chimes in with, if it's boxing, I'd probably say Zuck. Keep his distance, jab, wait for power punches. All full contact fight, weight is a big factor. You're not wrong. Any full contact fights require, typically the heavier person's going to win depending on why he's heavy.
Well, given this is Dana White, and the MMA, was it UFC?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of a cage match, dude. Yeah, just you can
And
grapple, you get him on the floor, beat the shit out of him. Oh.
yeah. And here we have May Musk, Momma Musk herself, saying, actually, I canceled the fight. I haven't told them yet, but I will continue to say the fight is canceled just in case. And now the fight has been canceled. Good relief, great relief, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, someone, out here being like, how I accidentally created and caused it and burr, whatever, right? And Musk pops off with Vegas Octagon. And of course, Mama Musk, it's like, that's no joking. Fight with words only. In armchairs, 4 feet apart, the funniest person wins. That is such a fucking Facebook post if I've ever fucking seen it in my life. I didn't know Elon's mom was a Facebook mom. I'm not ragging on Facebook moms. My mom was a Facebook mom, but it's Facebook. God, it's so dumb. She's just uses Twitter because her son owns it. She'd be on Facebook posting cats and flowers and minion memes with all the rest of the people her age.
Yep.
He says, if Elon can use his weight advantage, Zuck is getting trucked. Indeed. Hail Snail Messiah. He says, in boxing, I was a super heavyweight boxer. I had absolutely no place fighting a 75 kilogram fighter. You're not wrong. Simply too fast, and I didn't land a punch. It wouldn't. And if I did land a punch, it wouldn't be pretty. God, I can't even read today. Man. But yeah, I see. That's why I've always thought it'd be good to be somewhere between middle and like light heavy. Because then you get the speed, you get the power,
Balanced.
You know, and then of course that also fits my personal fighting style because I like grappling and I like striking. But don't get me wrong, people. I am in no way, shape, or form a good fighter. I haven't fought anybody in 20 years. So, like, don't I have preferences. That doesn't mean I'm good at it, and I'm not saying I am. This is not grandiose brag. Boosh McFadden says, Mom, I bought Twitter, but I like Facebook. So he also follows up with, boxing is a lot of speed and tagging. If it isn't about knocking out the other fighter, it is point-based. In a proper round of pugilism, sir, you are correct. But unfortunately, we have a lot of people addicted to the knockout boxing. And what they don't seem to understand or don't care about is knockout boxing leads to brain damage. That's why the UFC is actually safer. You don't have as many, like, you don't have big old padded gloves and stuff, and you can kick and whatnot, but it's still technically safer because they stopped the fight. See, and Bush says, even in the 90s, people got tired of watching Tyson knock everyone out in the first. Yeah, because it gets boring. It does. Because once you get a guy that's like 9 million pounds of muscle, he's just going to wreck everybody. It's just like those boxing games that we used to play as kids. The one with Little Joe. What was that called? I don't remember, but it was a knockout of a game. It was good.
You also run the risk of biting people's ears off as well.
Indeed. And then, of course, there's people talking, Dana White, the UFC president, was dead serious about the potential fight. He's been talking to people. Hail to Jason Fox. Hey, y'all.
He was dead serious right up until Musk's mom got involved. What kind of pull does she have?
But as the possibility of the fight happening increased, White took a U-turn, now saying that he is dead serious about the fight because he thought he was talking about how it's a gimmick and stuff. But yeah, right here. So this would be the fight ever in the history. Biggest fight, I'm assuming, in the world. Biggest, yeah. And this right here leads us to the most important point of this entire story. Okay. Well, there's two important points. Musk's mama is in control of everything. We know who's pulling Musk's strings now. It's mommy. She's like, dance for me, baby. Make me billions. Hey. I agree with this 100%, Snail Messiah. He says, fighting and fighting sports in general are boring. Well, any sports are, really. I agree. I am not a sports ball person. I am not a punch 'em out person. Like, I used to be into professional wrestling. Even as a kid, I knew it was fake. And yes, I mean fake as in choreographed, not fake as in they can't get hurt. I watched plenty of people die, over the years in wrestling. Okay, it happens a lot, especially the non-professional leagues, not WWE people. Hail to the Nate D.
Hey, Nate.
Like, sports in general are really, 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 really fucking boring. The only time I like watching golf is when it's the highlights of, like, when animals attack. And there's a bear like, I'm going to eat your face. And the guys are like, oh my God, I peed a little. Or like,
the elitist sport.
Only reason I ever enjoyed hockey was the fights. I refuse to watch NASCAR. I understand that's technically a sport, but let's get real. It's a bunch of guys driving really fast around in a circle, making left turns the whole time. If I'm not seeing at least 3 cars explode per lap, I don't care. I want death race, bitch. I have high needs, and you will not meet them. Bruce McFadden says, I really like the technical aspects of fighting sports. I've freaked out people at the pub when I called a knockout during an undercard. Maybe, I mean, I don't know if you have or not, Boosh, but maybe you should look into being officiator or whatever you call them in some UFC or some Ultimate Fighting stuff. That'd be cool. You know what's going on? A commentator. Yeah, everybody needs commentators. I mean, come on. He also says one guy was losing in points badly, but he was waiting. He ate punches over and over again, tensing for a left hook. I told the guys he was going to win, and they were like, whatever. And then he got the motherfucking, like, probably caught him, like, good. Like, hit him on one of the sweet buttons and put him out cold. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The other primary, most important point is, what is this trying to distract us from? Like, what has been happening in the world that they could possibly want to distract us from? And I have several theories. Okay. But by the way, it's not the Russia thing. The Russia mutiny, whatever.
Give me a break.
That lasted like 2 days. And then Mr. I'm big and bad, we're going to march to Moscow, went home. That's not what they're distracting you from. Maybe it's the Hunter Biden stories. Maybe it's Joe Biden possibly facing impeachment. Maybe it's a billion other things that they don't want you to know about.
These are usually multi-purpose, dude. Me? Well, you never throw away a good distraction, but you've got this, you got that stupid, and this is no disrespect to the families that lost loved ones, but I have some serious questions. The submarine that, the Titanic, that's got distraction written all over it. They literally used this gamepad. This very one, this model gamepad.
I got this in the wreckage from the wreckage
it floated to the surface, and I just happened to be out there, fishing, and I picked it up, and they use this gamepad apparently to control the submarine, and give me a fucking break. But there's that. There's
well, okay,
I can't help but go down. Okay, go ahead.
On the submarine thing. Okay, I don't want to hear any conspiracy bullshit or blah 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 blah. Right?
Okay.
Here's my thing. He named the submarine the Titan.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, the Titanic was called the Titanic. But roughly like 20 years or whatever before the Titanic sank, a man wrote a book called The Futility of the Titan. And it was literally about the Titanic sinking. Stop naming ocean-going vessels anything to do starting with Titan. If you want to name them Tit, go for it. Just stop there. Okay? Tit. Boom. Perfect. Don't add the AN. It causes you to sink and implode, and bad things happen.
Well, it should give you a little bit to food for thought, basically, on that one. But as far as distraction goes, we've recently had a lot of forest fires, and there's been a lot of satellite footage coming out. Take the ones in Canada, for example, and you can't make this shit up. All of the forest fires pretty much all started at the same time. And the odds of that happening due to global warming, for example, it begs the question. So as that was kind of peaking and starting to come out, even a few of the mainstream medias, they had to kind of cover it, and they were like, they were dissing it by saying, "Oh, conspiracy theories are going around," and it's like some people are saying aliens started and stuff. Then these distractions kind of started to happen until people's attention away from it. That satellite footage was gold. I mean, you could just see all the smoke starting all at once, all across Canada, and it just so happened to stop at the U.S. border as well. It's like the fires didn't happen to spread over into the states.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, it's got to take the vaccine first before it can cross over into the states. You got to remember that.
So the smoke that overtook New York City was vaccinated smoke. That's good. That's good. It's doing its part.
But the fires didn't at all spread into the states for some reason. So I guess the smoke went well. I mean, they were saying even reaching Europe, for example, and Norway. That's pretty impressive.
On it, bitch.
Yeah. But as for the fires, though, it just felt like stopping once it reached the border. So, Once people start looking into that, then we get these kind of distractions. But again, that being said, would love to see Musk and Zuckerberg go at it.
So Boosh McFadden says the government knew several days before and didn't release the story until Hunter got his sweetheart deal. How about that? And then, of course, he follows up with the tit. Welcome aboard the tit. We have coffee and, of course, milk. He also follows up with this comment. He says, yeah, Sean, they were dozens of miles apart. Everyone knows if you drive 24 miles, the weather will be identical.
Yeah.
I think I detect a little bit of sarcasm there. He says, wait, no, it isn't. If it's sunny and warm, you drive 3 miles in Tampa, it'll be pouring rain and cold. The same things here with Colorado. You go up 100 feet in elevation and you have completely different weather patterns. But see, the thing is the weather may be different in these spots, but I will lend slight credibility to the fact that someone may have set these fires simply by stating that the difference in weather should have prevented some of the fires, yes, but at the same time, Canada has been experiencing an incredible heat wave up there and not a shitload of moisture. So they do have dry temperatures and stuff like that. As far as the Canadian fires go, that's Canada's problem. I don't actually care. They fuck themselves, so they can fuck themselves. Have fun with that. I live in Colorado, okay? We are going to have our share of fires this year. California is going to have theirs. Montana's probably going to burn a little bit. Wyoming's, welcome to life, guys. It's not the first time massive forest fires have happened, and I'm not worried about any of that.
This spanned the entire country, man. This was,
well,
hasn't happened before, and
their favorite thing is killing people off, so they can just, good job, Canucks. Whatever you do, it's ridiculous. But I do know that we are talking Hunter Biden stuff tonight on Yelling at Parked Cars, so I won't get into that specifically. But I do absolutely love the fact that every time something big happens, they have a backup story to cover it up with. Almost like they've been doing this for a long time. And it's just surprising that, well, I take that back. It's not surprising that someone like Elon Musk would play into being a gigantic distraction for the world, because he has been the entire time. Even since he bought Twitter, he's been nothing but a gigantic distraction for the world. Hail to Massgrave. I'm sorry, I was reading some comments over here. Massgrave says, all support in the world for you, Cory. Glad to see you back. I am glad to be back. Last week was fucking rough. And that's all I'll say on it. So how many of these recent stories do you think have been manufactured to distract us? Just rough percentage guess, if you will.
Well, I kind of have this rule not to trust anything the mainstream media gives you at face value.
Absolutely good rule to have.
Especially when they're all repeating almost verbatim the same thing. This one, I will say this one is definitely worth its golden distraction, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And
Bush says all of it. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, whenever there's something, like I said, that seems quite serious, like you got the Hunter Biden. That thing, though, has been going on for years now, since Biden got into office.
Yep. Since beforehand.
Yes, it's before even then. And, we got to look at the timing as well. We got the election coming up pretty soon. And it almost seems, I'm not going to say that's a distraction, but I will say it has the potential to be played like a card, if you will. Like wait for the right time and then play it. If they want Biden out because he's just gotten to the point where he can barely function, I mean, look at the guy. I mean, I bet he can't even shit without someone wiping his ass, It might be just to get him out, remove him so they can put someone new in, whoever that is they eventually choose. But Biden, I'm surprised he even made it this far. but they've been on and off for the past at least 4 years. This Hunter Biden story has been. I mean, I even covered it a little bit, because early on there was some great information coming out. That he might have even had material that was of the child porn like nature, and then
Right.
no, we had to tone that down a little bit. And it's just regular pornography, and Russia
Right.
was planting it and blah blah blah. And yeah, so
Well, that's actually a perfect segue into what Boosh McFadden just said. Because back in the day, they used to make shit up. All right, 2016, we saw great examples of a bunch of made up shit that was later on debunked and stuff like that. So it actually seems like they learned their lessons because, as Bush points out, the stories are true, but they sit on them until they need the distraction and then they lie about everything. And that's what it is. They realized that we can catch and detect pure bullshit. Okay. So they take true stories and then they amplify the sections that carry their message. They don't tell you the whole story, because if they did, then you'd be a well-educated and learned individual who wouldn't need them anymore. And then they would be out of a job because they'd tell the truth and it would be, but they don't have to make things up anymore. That's how bizarre the world has gotten, is they don't need to make things up because everyone is playing along now.
Mm-hmm.
All of the world's governments are playing along now. I don't personally believe that there is a single resistant government out there right now.
No, I think if there's any sign of governments fighting, it's all a con job, man. It's just for show. It's just for show.
Then we see the rise of this BRICS coalition, or whatever you want to say, right? And, you can't tell me that's not just another side of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
They just repainted it. So this is, they're purposely manufacturing all kinds of shit so that we, the plebes, the plebs, the worthless peasants, they should stay in line. Bush McFadden says, I said from the start Biden would go the full 4 years. People said no, and here we are. He's a perfect president for them. He can't think. He reads the prompter and signs whatever they tell him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his signature at this point is actually a rubber stamp, but when they show him signing stuff, they don't show you the document to show that he's just like doodling and scribbling stuff. He's like, I made a kitty.
Who are we kidding, though? He can't read that prompter anymore. He hasn't been able to read that prompter since he got into office. Are you kidding?
Yeah, see, normal people have these, like, sometimes get these things called floaties, right? And they're just these little things that float around in your eyeball, and that's the technical term for them, by the way.
He's got shit floating around in that fucking brain of his.
Well,
dude.
I think his eyes are like gigantic, chunky bits of floaties. So, like, he's reading, and then it'll cover it, but he'll still keep trying to read, and he'll be like, Transformer.
Yeah, see, I'm sure that was on the prompter, Mass Grave.
It doesn't take that many people. Just few executives at the media companies are all emailing each other. This is true. Massgrave, I've got hairy legs. Yep. Biden did say that at one point, didn't he? Hail Turo. Talking with people in person, especially now with the ability to show those you are talking with other perspectives, otherwise known as sometimes the truth, is something everyone should be doing. I agree, especially since we have the access. Yeah, we can talk to everyone in the world. Hail to all my Australian friends and the random 1 or 2 Indian people that will be here. Bush McFadden also says he hasn't been able to read the prompter since he was VP. Even Democrats I knew in D.C. were making fun of him. Well,
right? Exactly.
Well, and that's the funny thing is, like, people have been making fun of Biden for 40 years, okay? Since he got into this whole politics business.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden it's a problem because he's actually got dementia and shit. Fuck you. I'm going to make fun of whoever I want. If it's a demented old bastard or a billionaire mama's boy, I'm going to make fun of him. You know why? Because I'm an American. America.
Just to add a little bit too, when it comes to mainstream media feeding his old bullshit, they do wrap it up with a little bit of truth, though, because you got to remember the greatest lie has an essence of truth to it. That's what makes it so potent.
Yep.
When you sell a lie, always have a little bit of truth.
Yep. And it's got to be a truth that people will buy too. Not like, because some actual facts and details are unbelievable. And when you share them, people won't believe you. So that probably shouldn't be the part of the truth that you include. I'm not trying to teach people how to lie, but I'm just going to say I'm way better at it than they are.
It all depends on what your agenda is and what you're trying to sell and lead the people towards,
It's true. It's true facts. Wow, we got a lot of chats here. Let's see. Turo says, unfortunately, once they open the eyes of others, they realize they can't go back into the Matrix. Indeed. What was that guy's name? Cypher?
Cypher, yeah. That's the thing. I don't know, man. I used to believe that. I used to stand by that. Like, once you wake up, you don't go back to sleep. But with my experience over the past few years, people have been trying very hard to go back to sleep. People that I stood by and thought, were awake and aware. And it is very good bringing Cypher up, because it really is that the Cypher syndrome, if you will.
Yep. And Bush McFadden says, Turo, the TDS people, that's Trump derangement syndrome in this case, can't listen. They just start throwing temper tantrums. So, Bush, I'll say it's the same thing for the diehard Trumpers, too. By the way, they won't listen to anything against Trump. They won't listen to anything about the fact that he is not a good person or a good.
This is why I had to
there's a lot of problems with Trump.
My last video.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Trump. There's a lot of problems with Biden. There's a lot of problems with the entire system.
Entire system's fucked.
I don't take sides except for the sides of the American people as protected by the American Constitution. The U.S. federal Constitution, the original 10 that's what I stand by personally. Okay. That's why I come out here and speak whatever the fuck I want, because I have the First Amendment.
Yeah.
That's why they will never take my guns from me, because I have the Second Amendment, and so on and so forth. And as long as we have that document, which is concrete, not living.
Well, even if they take that document away from the people, dude, you have an inherent right to defend yourself.
Indeed.
Period.
And that's the thing, is I choose to exercise my rights. A lot of these people won't. And they won't wake up to information that they're not ready to hear, I guess you could say. But
it's true, and I should have left it, because I actually posted a video last week about because I've criticized Biden a whole lot, and he's an easy target. But Trump, I needed to lay the smack down a little bit on him, and I usually disable comments. It's my channel, I'm not silencing anyone. But if you want to go, counter my video, go make a video yourself. I encourage that. Don't come into my channel and start spreading bullshit. But I forgot on BitChute to disable comments on that one, because it was a late upload, and I've got quite a lot to do. And within a few minutes, holy shit, my dad like 4 or 5 comments of people telling me to go die, and that they can't wait till all Trump haters die and shit like that. I was like, wow, okay.
Well, and people automatically jump to hate. If you don't like something, then you hate it. That's not true. Hate is a very intense human emotion. I will not say that I hate anything other than chomos. Okay. I like all animosity in the world for those people, but like hate is a strong word, but everybody jumps straight to it. It's just like Nazi. It's just like white supremacist. It's just like racist. Everything that they throw out these days, it has no power anymore. And it's bullshit. Mass Graves says, I used to be in the Matrix. It took me moving to Seattle, a bastion of leftism, and seeing the real insanity that finally made me unplug. I will never go back to thinking the government is trustworthy.
Well said. Well said.
Indeed. The only side to take is to err on the side of freedom. Yes.
Yep.
Indeed.
Period.
Mass Graves says, chomos and incompetence. Yes. And willful ignorance is also a close third, by the way, but it doesn't quite make me hate people, because
not to the point where I want to shout at them to go die.
Yeah. And I've been that angry before. But when you say things out of anger, you don't often mean them. They do have consequences, but you don't often mean them. But the way that these people go about it, you know that they mean it. As I studied language and communication during my psychology stuff, I came to this small realization that, I learned, I should say, that people are more committed to the things they write down than the things they actually speak.
For sure.
And that was actually proven by the Chinese government back in Korea, I think it was. And that was a whole shit show.
Yep.
It was. Churro says, Cory, I like Trump, and I call him on his faults. My sisters are all Democrats and will kick and scream like crazy people. Again, in person, in real conversations, real Trump people have been cool. Yes, I will agree with that. And that's because the internet allows you to be a little bit more crazy than you normally would be. That's why the crazy Trump supporters and the crazy leftists and all these people on both sides are so loud online. But you only see the leftists acting insane in public.
When
Of
you
course,
can hide behind a computer screen, you don't have to take responsibility for anything you type into the internet.
People realize that, the leftists are the only ones screaming in real life and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it seems to be giving them more power. And I don't like that very much. Snail Messiah says it is because thinking is actually hard to do, and using the right words, such as dislike rather than hate, takes energy. Most people suffer from cognitive fatigue, and it's because they're overloaded, constantly depleting their attention ability, their attention reserves, and that takes more energy, and that causes them to take the easy route. And convenience is the mother of the downfall of civilization, in my opinion. Massgrave says, Turo, I've experienced the same thing. I actually have a convo with a Trump supporter. That's good. Bush McFadden says, I accept that Trump isn't perfect, but everything and everything negative that the left said about President Trump are totally fabricated. They falsify evidence and edit his speeches. I will not disagree with you. 90% of what they've thrown at him has been fabricated. I'm sure there's some truth in some of the shit, but it's probably not as bad as they made it out to be. My biggest problem is Trump is thinking he's immune to his past mistakes. And there's nothing that our current justice system loves more than punishing people for their past mistakes. And while he's great at covering his ass, he is making himself look like an ass. And while he's probably still going to be the best choice in the 24, that doesn't mean I like it. For once, I want a true president, not one that does it for the show, not one that does it for power control or anything. I want one that doesn't want to do it, but he does it because he's the best for the job. But we don't have those kinds of people anymore, because politics and all of this other stuff is not only a religion, but it is a job. It is a career. Running other people's lives has become a career, and that is incredibly stupid. It's beyond retarded. Okay, that it is so held back that is.
Yep.
But
the way I'm kind of like done with not, well, I would like to be done with politics, but there's a new one that comes along every few years. I'm done with Trump. I've said my piece. You guys can go watch that video. There's a lot of evidence there. I'm done with Biden. Like, until I see the shit come out, like if it ever came out, proving once and for all, I'd still, even though the proof is like how I've been saying, that proves that he's a pedophile and, the ties he has to child trafficking and whatnot, until that actually comes out. And even then, even though it's what I want it to be, I'll admit it, because the evidence is there, I would still go in and question it and analyze it to make sure, that it isn't bullshit. They do this, they kind of pull a bait and switch, where they'll release the evidence like, oh, no. Oh, but guess what? That evidence was all made up. He actually isn't, blah, blah, blah. So it makes you jump the gun. It makes you get emotional and like, see.
Right.
And then, they go and pull that bait and switch. So we have to be very critical, even not let our emotions get the better of us, no matter which politician it is you support. Always have a vigilant eye on that. But until I like see damning evidence now, until something comes out where we can actually, oh, it's going to court, oh, blah blah blah, then maybe I'll get involved again. But whilst this shit show is going on, this dog and pony show, like, I know, oh, they've impeached Trump again and blah 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 and all that stuff, and oh, it makes him seem really legit. Sure, let's see how things play out. But I'm so done with it right now, dude.
Well,
I really am.
as I like to tell people, wait until you have all the facts before you make a decision.
Yep.
Yes, sometimes that is a moment that's too late to make a decision, but you can infer the gaps when you have enough information. Just gather the information. Don't be lazy about it. Hail to Sean Estep.
Hey, Sean.
Rewinding the stream. Have a great one, everyone. Well, thank you, sir.
Hope you
And
enjoy.
hail to One Man Show. Great to see you, bro.
Amen.
So Bush says, we'll go to this one. It says, the goal was to inject politics into every aspect of American life, and it worked. Excuse me. 100% of the time it worked. He also says, Trump created a task force to combat child trafficking, which was ultimately dissolved by Biden. Now child trafficking is at an all-time high. It will continue to be so no matter who's in charge, unless we have a, like, for lack of a better term, a hanging judge president kind of person.
And until I see, it's very easy for, it's like the evil man giving to charity kind of thing. It's, oh, look at me, I'm actually a good person. Oh, look at me, I've created a child trafficking task force to fight against it. Sure, actions speak louder than words. Until I see actual results from that, until, cases come forward, because I promise you, and the evidence is there. You even look at the Epstein case, the names that were tied to that. Until I start seeing those names and those people brought up in charges, I will not buy any stupid little task force anyone creates. And that's not an attack against Trump. I'm talking about any politician that likes to play that card. And Turo, just real quickly,
before we get too carried away with this, I need
All
to point something out for everyone watching.
We're getting into politics. Shit.
Oh, we're into politics. We're into politics. So I'm going to point out some basic facts.
Dude.
Well, I'm just going to point out some basic facts, and then we're going to move on from this discussion. Okay. One, when Sean says he's not participating, he's not talking about voting or picking sides and stuff like that. Okay. Because at the moment, he's not in a position to do that. What he's talking about is,
well, even if I was,
help is like throwing his support behind somebody at the moment is more so what he's talking about.
Yep.
But I would also like to point out, and this is not an attack on you, Sean, but Sean is the single most disillusioned person I've ever met towards anything political. He hates what politics has done to the United States and what politics has done to the world, both sides. So everybody needs to understand, he hates politics and politicians, what they're doing to people. Not so much like the actual parties or things like that, but what it has become. He does have strong beliefs towards the independence of people. He just doesn't like the shit show that we get thrown in our face all the time. And I think we can all agree that the shit show is getting a little too much.
I'm exhausted by it, to be honest, dude. Just if it's too much to ask for, a world that isn't based on, debt, slavery, and suffering, which, is still pushed. I don't, Bush, I respect you, man. Absolutely. But those, numbers, if you haven't been paying attention, numbers are rigged. I never go off of numbers anymore. That's why you'll never hear me in a video go off of statistics. The last election should have shown you all, that they can rig things pretty easily now. Again, I can only say be vigilant, but because, we should all be able to take care of one another without giving our power away to these. What have these people done, Trump included, that have deserved our trust, that have deserved us saying, rule my fucking life, because I'm too lazy and tired to do it? Like, no, we can. I've seen so many great examples, and this is saying a lot because I'm not the biggest people person, where people could take care of one another just fine without, I'm sick of hearing these excuses, and this is all I'm going to say on the matter now until I drop it. As well, what are we going to do about the roads? What are we going to do about the roads? Roads will need fixing, blah, blah, blah. Look, once we start seeing as a society that our roads need fixing, we're going to have some people, well, okay, I'll go out and do it. I'll go put in 2 days a week. Sure, I'll go help out. As long as I don't have to, give, shits to banks and politicians and, we're all taken care of. Fuck, I'll chip in for a couple of days a week. Fuck that. We don't need politicians for this. We really fucking don't. They have done nothing to earn our trust. Nothing whatsoever. They've all got, whatever. Like I said, the evidence is there. Go look it up. You got to get over your bias on this one. It sucks because I did have a bit of a bias on Robert Kennedy Jr. because I was pretty big on the Kennedys back in the day. And I still am to some extent, but even I can admit, nope. Doesn't matter how good they are. It's like Ron Paul, for example. He, and they removed him. I honestly think still to this day, if he'd have become president, he would have been an honest one. He would have done some good, which probably means they would have taken him out. But yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter. We need to learn responsibility for ourselves. We need to grow up. We need to mature. And I'm tired of this childlike mentality of someone else has to do it for us. That's it. I'm dropping it. I'm done. Watch my video today that's coming out. That's over 40 minutes long if you want a really good in-depth analysis of a lot of that.
Hell yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the last 15 minutes, so I'm going to share something special with you. I wrote, frankly, a theme song, and I'm going to give you the first 30 seconds of it. Yeah. It's called What Do You Know? By the way. Got to find the right one. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let me know if it's too loud or anything. All right. We're going to do a test and then let me know.
I'm Frank Lee, and this is an odd adventure.
Is that too loud? Was that too loud?
Oh, sorry, dude. No, I thought you were asking chat. No, for me, it sounds great. Sorry, man.
All right. So here we go.
Heard me a rumor just the other day, and now I'm off to investigate government conspiracies, little green man running down mysteries once again. What do you know about what's going on? What do you know about what went wrong? I'm Frank Lee, and I'm here to say, yeah, it's time to investigate.
Yep. There's the first 30 seconds of the Frank Lee theme song. Yeah.
Very nice, man. Very nice. I'm sorry.
I'm excited about that one.
By chat at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta stop.
I know that's. It's hard to get our crowd to.
I will say this, I'm really glad it's active, dude. I'm real glad you got an active chat today. That's great.
Jason Fox says, "All you need is some screams, man." Hell the fuck yeah. So the screams might be used in a future Frankly video. So I will keep in touch with you, Jace, about that because I do want to do. I want to use your vocal abilities, which are incredible, by the way. That man was a metal singer, screamer person, and he's done a lot. Jason Fox, that man. Only thing currently in Norway that's worth a damn, other than
Norway has a good metal scene. Scandinavia in general, like Sweden's got some great metal bands. Stradivarius was an interesting one. They kind of mix metal and orchestra a little bit. Yeah, they do have that. And,
I love orchestral metal work.
Yeah,
I love it. I actually found a song. I'll share it with you too. It's called "The Hall of the Metal King."
Nice.
Oh, what did I do with that? Sorry, I forgot where I put it. So we're gonna go like this PC.
Well, you'll find over in North, like a lot of metal fans, they are actually really kind and great people as well.
Hell yeah.
A lot of false notions are put on them, and it's a shame.
Indeed. So, I mean, everybody knows this song, but I love it. Just wait for it. Yeah.
Turo, sorry, dude. No, Turo, it's fun. I'm having a slow day today. Love that movie, by the way. And if I was Doc, dude, can you give me a minute? Just real quickly.
Yeah, you're
I'll be
good.
right back.
You're good. So what he's referring to is Sean is like Doc from Back to the Future. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. You can see him in the lab coat.
Totally. I got the whole time machine here and everything. So fuck roads. Why do we need that? Come on.
Yeah, I love that model, by the way. It's great. You know what? Hall of the Mountain King. Yep. And they just did it in metal, so they called it Hall of the Metal King. And I loved it.
Well, the Hall of the Mountain King is one of my favorite, classical pieces. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Jason, you might know this. Is it Norwegian? Is it original Norwegian piece from? Oh, I'm forgetting. I think it's definitely Scandinavian. I know it was used in a play.
Hall of the Mountain King was originally composed by Edvard Grieg. Let's see, where were you from, sir?
Awesome.
Apparently, yep, Bergen, Norway.
Mm-hmm.
Died in 1907. And he almost looks like
Mr. Fusion.
He almost looks like
look at that.
Albert Einstein, man. That's
he's
awesome.
got that Beethoven look to him as well. A little bit of a Beethoven look, just with a mustache and a bit more grittier. But yeah, dude, that classical music can't go wrong. It's great for comedy. It's great for serious emotions. Good stuff. But,
so Mass Grave says, if you liked that, look up Ex Mortis covering Beethoven's Midnight Sonata. I am going to have to check that out.
Beethoven's Midnight Sonata has got to be one of my
good.
favorite pieces, if not my favorite classical piece of all time. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to listen to as well, because it does bring out those heavy emotions. If you're having a bit of a reminiscing on certain times in your life. But good stuff. I've got a lot of variations. It's great in metal. It's great in there's a Spanish guitar version of Moonlight Sonata. Yeah, good stuff.
Ex Mortis.
I've heard of them, I think.
He says it's a very heavy metal cover. Great.
There you go.
That gets me excited. I love heavy metal covers of classical music.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I have heard it or not, but I've always thought it would be great to hear a heavy metal version of Ave Maria. With or without operatic singing, because I've heard some kick-ass heavy metal operatics before, where someone's just and in the middle of a fucking metal song, and you're like, oh my gosh,
power metal.
It's power metal. Well, fine. Don't like power metal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wind down now. So I can go put some aloe on my burns and stuff. So Sean, what you got going on?
A new episode of Escaping the Matrix goes live today. Bit of a long one, so over 40 minutes. Might be taking a little break from that for a couple of weeks whilst I work on other things. Really appreciate you go checking out that channel. Like, dislike. It's a choice I leave to you, of course. Thanks for having me on today, dude. It's been an interesting conversation. And chat, it's been great to interact with you. Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah. Snail Messiah says, give me Sepultura. I can't read today. Thrash metal, some Biohazard. That's some good shit right there. I am an all-round metal fan. I recently fell in love with folk metal once again, thanks to my son. Specifically the song Diggy Diggy Hole.
Yeah.
That's a great song. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this ridiculous episode of Cory's Corner. We went all over the place today, but somehow stayed within the same sphere. We had a gravitational pull on the subject, but we went all over the place. Tonight, join us on Yelling at Parked Cars. I believe our guest is Magitech Mags. Hail to TZ Burton for coming in last minute.
Hey there.
Always good to see a late arrival. You will be marked down on your attendance. But we will be talking Hunter Biden shit tonight on the Yelling at Parked Cars over on Comics Division's channel. We'll have a great time. My first impressions of Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy bullshit, whatever the fuck it's called, is coming out tomorrow. I just played the first 2 hours, and pretty much everyone that loves that game is telling me 2 hours is not enough to actually appreciate the game. So maybe I'll go back and try it out. But just forewarning, it's not my cup of tea. It is a ridiculous fucking video, though. So go check it out. Yes, it's the first 2 hours of gameplay, but altogether, usable stuff, I have like 20 minutes. So don't stress on the length. But other than that, I will be around this week. We went through some hard shit last week, but we're slowly dealing with it. We're pushing forward. The show must go on, and life must go on as well. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hug your loved ones. Make sure everyone knows how much you love them. If you do love them, and if you don't love them, just make sure you tell them that they can eat a dick. Yeah, you weren't expecting that. Anyway, stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful time. We'll catch you later.
Take care, guys.